Hello guys, welcome back again to Empire TV. Today we finish this Bill of Rights as I told you from the last video. Today nitashikanisha part 3, part 4 and part 5, yeah, because they are very short. Okay, straight into it guys. Part 3 under the Bill of Rights. So we have the specific application of rights. Yeah, specific application of rights. So they have interpreted the specific application of rights here. So this part, so this is the interpretation. This is part of the interpretation. So it says this part elaborates certain rights to ensure greater certainty as to the application of those rights and fundamental freedoms to certain groups of persons. This part shall not be construed as limiting or qualifying any right. And then we continue to number 53. Children. Okay, so the rights of children. Every child has the right to a name and nationality from birth. Yeah. To free and compulsory basic education. Okay. To basic nutrition, shelter and health care. Nutrition, chakula, shelter ni makazi, and health care, matibabu. To be protected from abuse, neglect, harmful cultural practices, all forms of violence, inhuman treatment and punishment, and hazardous or exploitative labor. Next point is to parental care and protection, which includes equal responsibility of the mother and father to provide for the child, okay, whether they are married to each other or not, and not to be detained except as a measure of last resort, and when detained, to be held for the shortest appropriate period of time and separate from adults and in conditions that take account of the child's sex and age. A child's best interests are of paramount importance in every matter concerning the child. Okay, let's continue, guys. Persons with disability. So PWDs also, they have their rights. Yeah, persons with disability have their rights. So their rights are as follows. Persons with any disability is entitled to be treated with dignity and respect, and to be addressed and referred to in a manner that is not demeaning. Yeah, demeaning yani ya kumshusha kama kumdharau, hiyo itakiwi kisheria, even in humanity, kumdharau kabisa. To access educational institutions and facilities for persons with disabilities that are integrated into society to the extent compatible with the interests of the person. To reasonable access to all places, public transport and information. Hii wana complaining sana PWDs hapa kwa access to all places, ya kama hospitali, government buildings, bridges. Yeah, if you've realized mostly in bridges, flyovers, wako na ile side yao ya wanaweza enda na wheelchair, mtu anaweza msukuma to the other end. Public transport hapa huwa wanapambana na hali yao, mostly huwa wanapambana na hali yao. So kama ana helper amsaidia, mbebe, mweke ndani ya gari, arudi tena chini achukue wheelchair yake, inakuwa ngumu sometimes hapa kwa public transport. And even information, so they also need to be given information that is necessary for them. To use sign language, braille, or other appropriate means of communication, and to access materials and devices to overcome constraints arising from the person's disability. The state shall ensure the progressive implementation of the principle that at least 5% of the members of the public in elective and appointed bodies are persons with disabilities. Okay, let's see. Rights of youth. Yeah? The youth also have their specific rights. Yeah? The state shall take measure, including affirmative action programs, to ensure that the youth access relevant education and training, have opportunities to associate, be represented, and participate in political, social, economic, and other spheres of life, access employment, and are protected from harmful cultural practices and exploitation. Yeah, that is about youth. Let's see about the minorities and marginalized groups. Yeah, minorities and the marginalized groups. Okay, the state shall put in place affirmative action programs designed to ensure that minorities and marginalized groups participate, participate and are represented in government, governance, and other spheres of life. Are provided specially opportunities in educational and economic fields. Are provided special opportunities for access to employment, develop their cultural values, languages, and practices, and have reasonable access to water, health services, and infrastructure. All the members of society. Okay, let's see the rights of the older members of society. The state shall take measure to ensure the rights of older persons to fully participate in the affairs of society, mhm, to pursue their personal development, to live in dignity and accept, to live in dignity and respect and be free from abuse, and to receive reasonable care and assistance from their family and the state. So part three, inaishia hapo. So let's continue straight to part four. Part four talks of state of emergency. So what happens under state of emergency? So this is how you're supposed to behave under the state of emergency. A state of emergency may be declared only under Article 132, Sub-Article 4(d), and only when the state is threatened by war, invasion, general insurrection, disorder, natural disaster, or other public emergency, and the declaration is necessary to meet the circumstances for which the emergency is declared. Number two, a declaration of a state of emergency and any legislation enacted or other action taken in consequence of the declaration shall be effective only prospectively and for not longer than 14 days from the date of the declaration, unless the National Assembly resolves to extend the declaration. The National Assembly may extend a declaration of state of emergency by a resolution adopted following a public debate in the National Assembly and by the majorities specified in Clause 4 and for not longer than 2 months at a time. The first extension of the declaration of a state of emergency requires a supporting vote of at least 2/3 of all members of the National Assembly, and any subsequent extension requires a supporting vote of at least 3/4 of all the members of the National Assembly. The Supreme Court may decide on the validity of a declaration of a state of emergency, any extension of a declaration of a state of emergency, and any legislation enacted or other action taken in consequence of a declaration of a state of emergency. 6 talks of any legislation enacted in consequence of a declaration of a state of emergency may limit a right of fundamental freedom in the Bill of Rights only to the extent that the limitations is strictly required by the emergency and the legislation is consistent with the Republic's obligations under international law applicable to a state of emergency and shall not take effect until it is published in the Gazette. Number 7 talks of a declaration of state of emergency or legislation enacted or other action taken in consequence of any declaration may not permit or authorize the indemnification of the state or of any person in respect of any unlawful act or omission. So part 3 ends there. So let's finish part 5 so that we are done away with the Bill of Rights. So part 5 is the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission. So let's see what this talks about before we finish this Bill of Rights, guys. Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission. There is established the Kenya National Human Rights and Equality Commission. The functions of the commission are, so straight to the functions. The functions are to promote a respect for human rights and develop a culture of human rights in the Republic, to promote gender equality and equity generally, and to coordinate and facilitate gender mainstream in national development, to promote the protection and observance of human rights in public and private institutions, to monitor, investigate, and report on the observance of human rights in all spheres of life in the Republic, including observance by the national security organs, to receive and investigate complaints about alleged abuses of human rights and take steps to secure appropriate redress where human rights have been violated. Okay, let's continue. On its own initiative or on the basis of complaints, to investigate or research a matter in respect of human rights and make recommendations to improve the functioning of state organs, to act as the principal organ of the state in ensuring compliance with obligations under treaties and conventions relating to human rights, to investigate any conduct in state affairs or any act or omission in public administration in any sphere of government that is alleged or suspected to be prejudicial or improper, or to result in any impropriety or prejudice, to investigate complaints of abuse of power, unfair treatment, manifest injustice or unlawful, oppressive, unfair or unresponsive official conduct, to report on complaints investigated under paragraphs H and I, and take remedial action, and to perform any other functions prescribed by legislation. Every person has the right to complain to the Commission, alleging that a right or fundamental freedom in the Bill of Rights has been denied, violated, or infringed, or is threatened. Parliament shall enact legislation to give full effect to this part, and any such legislation may restructure the Commission into 2 or more separate commissions. If Parliament enacts legislation in restructuring the Commission under Clause 4, that legislation shall assign each function of the Commission specified in this article to one or the other of the successor commissions. Each of the successor commissions shall have powers equivalent to the powers of the commission under this article, and each successor commission shall be a commission within the meaning of Chapter 15 and shall have the state and power of the commission under that chapter. Guys, that comes to the end of Chapter 4 that was talking about the Bill of Rights. So hope you'll grab something out of the Bill of Rights, because this chapter is the most important one And you need to know your rights as a Kenyan. You need to know and master your rights. So we call it a day. So our next chapter is chapter 5 that talks of land and environment. So that one we'll tackle it next time. Land and environment, guys. Land, ardhi na mazingira. That will be next time. So I thank you guys for continuing to watch my videos, and also the most important one, guys. Let's grow this empire together by subscribing. Nothing more I'm asking from you guys. Just subscribe, comment, comment of anything that you're watching here. Just comment, subscribe, comment. That one will go a long way in growing this channel, guys. The channel is Vance Empire TV, and my name is Governor. Thank you. See you next time.